Today I'm going to introduce 3 areas that I emphasize when I teach stretching. The first one is awareness and paying attention. So that means paying attention to what you feel in your body, if it's a very strong stretch or if you can go a bit further, if the body tells you it's a negative or a positive feeling. Even things like if there is a difference between your left and the right side could be very useful to paying attention to. The second thing is moving slow and gentle. By that I mean for the person being stretched, so the stretchy, but also the person that is helping the person stretching, so the stretcher. Both these people need to go slow and gentle and helping out and going into the stretch. The reason being is that the body tends to deal with going slow and gentle much better than if you're going harsh or you are rushing. Then that is probably not the optimal way of entering and also coming out of a stretch. The third thing is breathing. By breathing deep and slow breaths into the belly, your body is more likely to relax. So have your breathing going deep into the belly and expand the belly as you're breathing in, and just let it go back in as you are breathing out. That is a good default. However, for certain stretches, you might want to explore breathing through the rib cage or even through the chest. It depends on the stretch. This diagram shows the life of a stretch, and I have learned this one from Dave Wardman at Physical Alchemy. Thanks, Dave. So when you get into a stretch, we are up here. So this is the start and the finish. So you position yourself into the stretch. Then you take some time, which is up to a certain number of breaths, to settle into your position. Pay attention and being aware of what is going on and how it feels today. Then you can do a contraction, which is this bit here. You do a contraction, which you can hold from everything from 5 seconds up to 30 seconds if it's a big muscle group. Then you release that stretch and you breathe out and you relax. Okay? So it's this second phase here where you are settled into your new range of motion, hopefully. Hopefully you've gotten a bit further after you've done that first contraction. Cool? Now, this phase can be everything from a few breaths to many breaths, depending on how long you stay into a stretch. Then you repeat the contraction again. Perhaps you go a bit longer or a bit shorter this time. Perhaps you go a bit of a milder contraction or maybe a bit of a harder contraction. Then again, you adjust to that new position that your body has gotten into, and you can repeat a third, or you can even add more contractions after that. So this circle might be going around a couple of times even for certain people. Normally what I do recommend is to not do too many contractions, but rather take many breaths in between and make sure that you're breathing and you're paying attention and you are relaxed in between the contractions. You want the contractions and the relaxation phase to be as far apart as you can, and that doesn't mean that you need to do a really hard contraction. It rather means that you do a decent contraction, but you are relaxing well in between. When you've done your last contraction, you get ready to come out of the stretch, and you make sure that you are taking your time to come out of the stretch as well, because the going in phase and the coming out phase are just as important as the stretch that you've done itself. So that is the life of a stretch. I am now going to demonstrate the famous couch stretch, but without the couch. So I'm going to place my foot on the wall. I'm going to place my knee on the cushion. The foot that you place on the wall can be either with toes pointed like this, or you can tuck your toes under. I'm going to keep them pointed. Now I'm going to use the chair as a bit of support for this stretch. So the first phase we enter is the setting in, getting a bit comfortable into position. Already now, start paying attention to what is going on and breathe through the belly. So right now I can feel a good stretch going through the hip and down my leg as well. So I'm going to get ready to do my first contraction in this position. So I'm going to press my foot into the wall and I'm going to hold for about 5 seconds. And it's important to not move when you do the contraction. So it's an isometric hold. So I'm pressing in and I'm holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And that helps me get further into a good stretch. Take a few breaths in between. Then I'm going to do a second contraction. I'm going to try a longer contraction and a little bit harder contraction as well this time. So I'm pressing my foot in and I'm holding for 10 seconds. Holding. And then I let go nice and gentle. Breathe and get further into stretch. As you can see, I'm trying to go a little bit deeper into stretch every time I breathe out. And you will reach a point where you can't get any further into stretch. So you get ready to come out of the stretch. So I would suggest, since I don't have too much space here, I would lean forward and I would push myself back with the front leg instead of using the back leg to pull myself back. So push back with the front leg, and then from there, you can nice and gentle come out to the side.